Yeah.
So we're highlighting on Mostside Talk TV, your local station, and bringing all the information and bringing people up to speed with what's going on within this community. I thought that I'd dedicate my Father's Day to this particular cause right here. You know, we're losing our children on the street. For real, we're losing our children, and I believe that you know, we can break the stem, the flow of that fighting, that violence amongst the kids. I mean, first and foremost, it's our job to teach our children how to live, how to use their social skills, how to perform on these streets, how when they see their brother, to greet their brother on the streets, and don't look at their brother as an enemy. And give them that love and spread that love between the brothers. We're in a serious situation. I mean, at one time, 30 years ago, people would have said, you're part of the problem. And because I was part of the problem back then, now I'm going to be the solution to the problem right now. So basically, that's why we're out here. It's a new movement. It's to end youth violence. We want to stop our children fighting each other. We want to stop them thinking that they need to carry knives to be safe on these streets. We want to make these streets safe for them so they don't have to carry knives. They have to know each other, know who their brothers are, know who the fathers of those brothers are. Because we all know each other. We're in a situation now, sometimes we're burying our children. We're burying our children. My children and somebody else's children might be fighting. And one of them might have died in the middle of that fight. And this is a serious situation. So we have to take stock of this. We have to now take control of our households, take control of our children, and make sure when they go out on the streets, they have the social skills and the right knowledge to be able to liaise with their brothers and know who their brothers are. We need to bring our children together in these parks here. We grew up in these parks, Alexander Park, a major place in our growing up, in our raising in this community. Somewhere along the way we lost our way. But as I said, it's up to the parents first. The first education is in the home. It's in the home. The first education is in the home. And when I say in the home, I don't mean in the home on the PlayStation. I mean on the home with the parents talking and spreading knowledge and showing them how to live, how to when they go out on the streets, how to socialize, how to be a benefit to their community, and not a burden on their community. We want to keep their spirits high and get them smiling again. The kids these days don't seem to have anything to smile about. I know the government's cut a lot of the money out. I know a lot of the youth clubs have been shut down. It's time we start getting our community facilities working again and working for the community again and putting back in the community what we once had, youth clubs and facilities for them, and days out like bringing barbecues out in here and getting food together, bringing the community together so they know each other, so they could never be fighting with each other. They know each other as brothers and sisters. It's the first day we brought this movement out here. We're going to gather some momentum. It was a very short advertisement period, but we're going to advertise this properly here on Mostside Talk TV. So stay tuned. We're going to give you the date to the next meeting in this park here, in this location, in our community, Mostside, Whalley Range, Hume, and the surrounding communities. We want our children to be safe on these streets. We want our children to know each other. We want our children to know that the fathers know each other. So we don't want to be, having fathers and two fathers together at a funeral burying one of their children and one of our other children is going to prison for life. We don't want this nonsense no more. So it's time that we do something about it. We're the fathers. We're the shepherds. We're responsible for our flock. We're responsible for our children. Yeah? And how they go on these streets and how they operate on these streets. It's our responsibility first to show them how to communicate, how to socialize within their area, for us to bring them together and let them know each other first and foremost. So as I said, it's a new movement, and this is the first day I'm dedicating Father's Day to this. I'm dedicating this one to all of the fathers out there, all of the mothers too, and especially the mothers, because the mothers are the ones that raise their children, while those fathers are out there trying to earn the bread and so forth. They're the ones that are teaching the children and bringing the children through and feeding the children. Like Malcolm X said, to educate a man is to educate an individual. But to educate a woman is to educate and liberate a nation. And this is the presence of the woman in the household. So, those fathers now have to do our job. Also, I'm going to send this out to all the fathers who are missing their children through, not being in good relations with the mother of their children, and the mothers keeping the children away from them. It's a serious situation that needs addressing also. And this is part of the problem, with the absence of the family, the fathers in the home. The absence of the fathers causes the children to go outside and look for fathership. And in the end, they get raised by the streets, like I was raised by the streets. And I had to go into the facilities, into the institutions, for me to wake myself up, for me to educate myself and get myself woke. And now that I'm woke, I ain't going to sleep on this. I'm going to be in this thing to the death of me. As I said, this is real. We got to take control of our streets, make our communities safe again, make everybody happy, and live together in peace and love. Okay? Pull up for now.
Alright, yeah?
Yes,
Aye.
you can hear me, isn't it? Okay, good afternoon everybody, or good evening, good morning, good night.
It's not loud enough for
All those people that are listening and watching today on Mossad TV. Today is Father's Day, and we've already heard a call to action from Ramir. Fathers and children together. It is Father's Day today. And I think what he has said is actually very important. And what he's recognized is important. And I'm glad to hear that he said he's now woke. And the thing is, a lot of us are woke. A lot of the fathers are woke. But what's important is that you need to stay woke. And also recognize that some of you may have actually been the problem of what Ramir is talking about. But as long as you can recognize that, it means you will now be ready to actually do something about the problem. Because a lot of people watching this are probably going to say, oh, we've been here before, we've heard all this before, we want to end youth violence, which we've always wanted to end youth violence. But you know what? Any unwanted behavior by young people is learned behavior. They learn it from adults. No child is born bad. No child is born with a gun in their hand or a knife in their hand. They learn how to do that, and they learn unwanted behavior from adults. So, what do we do about it? It's about time we started actually taking action, as in talking to our young people, bringing them closer. You know, fathers and children together, bringing your children together. Some fathers and mothers, we might not want to talk about certain things with our children, but we should, because they're supposed to be learning from us. There's nothing that we haven't said, done, where we've been, not been, eaten, not eaten, smoked or not smoked, that our children are not going to go and do. Our children should be able to ask us anything, because we've already had that experience. We've got that life experience. So therefore, we should be teaching our young people so that they don't have to trip up or fall inside the same gully or trip over the same stone that we tripped up on. Why should they have to trip up on that stone when we know the stone's there? Teach them. Tell them that, guess what, there's a stone over there and you're going to trip over it if you do A, B, and C. Whereas if you do X, Y, and Z, you might not. Or there's a gully there that you're going to fall into if you don't listen and take heed. We are the best teachers of our children. Charity does begin at home. And what if that home is a single parent home or the double parent home, it's still a home. And I think it's also what's important with our communities, especially the African and Caribbean communities, is about having those two parents together. And sometimes they're not always together, but every child is born of two parents. Two, not one, unless somebody's worked out how to do the Immaculate Conception, which I doubt we have. They're born of two parents. So what if parents are together or not? When parents are not together, that's an issue for the adults. No child begs to be born. They end up being born. They end up being brought into this world, and guess what? We are the custodians of their life. We are the ones that then have to teach them how to reside in this world, on this planet. We're supposed to teach them key things that they need to know. Despite the fact that our relationships might not be going too good, we're still supposed to teach our children and teach them how they can have that better relationship if that is your issue, you know, about relationships or keeping a home. We should then be able to teach our children how they can do it, rather than making the children part of the problem. And I think that happens too much of the time, that we make the children part of the problem, and the children are not the problem. The children have never been the problem. It's the adults. So when adults start fixing up or being woke, as Ramir put it, we have to stay fixed up, we have to stay woke, and make sure we pass that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding onto our young people so that they can have a better life, a better generation. Because what we do today, it's not for our generation, it's for the generations to come. And put it this way, we ain't going nowhere, we're here to stay. So why shouldn't our children live in a safe neighborhood, a safe environment, where they too can have their children in a safe environment, and their generations to come can actually live in peace and harmony. Positive energy always creates elevation. Thank you.
Yeah. Blessed.